Hello, everybody. Welcome to Vinyasa. Today, I would suggest if you want to try something a little bit different, we're going to have a practice where we work to use the muscles of the inner thighs because they can tend to get a little bit lazy if not asked to fire for us. So if you have something like a yoga block at home, you could use that. In place of that, of course, we get creative with what we have at home. And for this practice, I'd recommend folding up a blanket or a towel, or you could even use like a little throw pillow. You want something to be about block size-ish. And when we get to a certain point in class, you can kind of test out that size for yourself. You're going to place it between the upper thighs and just give it a little squeeze. So find that prop that you're going to use, set it on the side of your mat somewhere you can easily reach it. And then let's head to child's pose to start. You can settle your hips back towards your heels. You can let your big toes touch. If it feels good, you can take the knees wide or you can keep the knees close to one another. And then the forehead, it can rest on the backs of the hands or it can rest on a prop or even the mat. Just give yourself a few moments here to allow the body to arrive and settle in. Let's take about 3 more breaths here. On your next inhale breath, we'll place the palms forward and pull the body into tabletop. Just take a few moments to get the hands to spread, fingers to spread so that the palm of the hand is flat and you're pressing the floor away. The arm muscles are engaged. And from that place, let's start to move through cat-cow. Just begin to articulate the spine. And then be sure to include the head and the neck in your cat-cow. So when I round my spine towards the ceiling, I tuck my chin to my chest as I tuck the tailbone under. And then the reverse of that is true with that little cow-like shape. The belly drops, the head lifts, the tailbone lifts. A couple more rounds of cat-cow. And then come back to tabletop. We'll extend the right leg behind us and float the right toes off the mat. And then sweep that right foot towards the left. Right foot towards the left. Curl the toes under and press down through the bottom end of the foot. So it's kind of almost like you were going to cross your legs, but you're keeping that right leg extended and the left knee on the mat. Okay, take a deep breath in here. And then on your exhale, right leg lifts, right knee forward towards right elbow or tricep, kind of rounding out like that cat shape. And then let's flow that. Inhale, right leg extends, sweep the right foot to the left, press down, breathe in, press into the hands, kind of thinking about a little bit asymmetrical cat here. Inhale, float the right foot up, pull the right knee forward towards tricep or elbow, round out. Let's do that twice more. Inhale, right leg extends, sweeps across to your left, plant the foot, a little bit of a round through the spine. Float the right leg back up, bend the right knee forward. And one more time through. Inhale, plant the right foot, a little bit of a round. Bring that right knee forward, tap the elbow, and then set the right knee back into its place. Hips back to the heels, find child's pose. Take 2 breaths here in your child's pose. Let's come forward to tabletop. Same thing on the second side. So left leg is going to extend back. Float the left foot off the mat. Sweep it towards the right side. Press down through the ball mound of the foot. Get your balance here. And then find that cat-like shape. So we're pressing down through the hands. And the cat-like shape is very subtle, right? So it's not going to look the same as it does when both knees are on the mat. But you're breathing into the sensation that is present. With the next inhale, right leg lifts. Sorry, not right leg. Left leg lifts. Left knee forward. See if you can give a little tap to the tricep or the elbow. Re-extend the left leg. Sweep that left leg across the mat. Press down through the ball mound of the foot. Press the floor away. And then let's flow that a little bit. Left leg lifts. Pull the left knee forward. Extend the left leg back. Plant the ball mound of the foot. Inhale, left leg lifts. Pull the knee forward. Extend it back. So one more time through. Good, then come back to tabletop. And if your wrists need a little bit of break, you can sink the hips back to the heels and find child's pose, or you can sit back on your heels with me and circle out the wrists. And then go ahead, if you just are joining a little bit late at the beginning of our practice, I said we were going to use a prop. I'll invite you to use a prop. You don't have to. You're going to place that between your inner thighs. So if you don't have a block-like shape at home, fold up a blanket or grab a throw pillow, and that's going to function like your prop between the inner thighs. We're going to come to downward facing dog with that prop in place. So this will do a couple of things for you. In your down dog, it's going to keep the feet about hip width distance apart, parallel. It's going to keep the hips neutral, hip points facing down. And it's going to turn on the inner thigh muscles. So feel your quadriceps engage, pulling away from the knees. In your down dog, you're pressing the floor away. There's a slight tuck of the tailbone under as you relax your head. Let's take one more breath here. We'll shift forward to high plank, lengthening out, still squeezing that prop. And if it slips out of the way, you just know that you have a little bit of work to do today, right? To keep it in place. High plank, lift the hips up, down dog. Let's flow that 3 more times. Inhale, shift forward, high plank. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. Inhale, forward, lengthen out. Exhale, hips up and back. One more time, forward, high plank. And then coming all the way down to the knees first, and then lowering onto the belly. Now that prop between the thighs, it might feel a little awkward here, and that's okay. We're gonna see if we can work with that. See if you can keep squeezing the thighs together. Walk the wrists back underneath the elbows. Press down through the tops of the feet. Lift the heart, low cobra. Exhale, lower. Twice more, low cobra. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Now from here, curl your toes under. Use this prop between the thighs to your advantage. You're squeezing the quadriceps away from the knees, engaging the inner thighs. Can you keep the legs straight here? Press up to high plank and then downward facing dog. Good. All right, we're gonna walk our hands back to meet our feet. You're gonna wind up in a forward fold at the back of the mat. Go ahead and bend the knees. Keep that prop in place. Uttanasana, your first forward fold. Keep that little bit of a bend in your knees and then place your hands on your waist. Lengthen the heart forward. Feel your abdomen engage. Keep pressing down through your feet and stand all the way up. All right, so we're going to start to add on to our flow, and then we're going to work with this prop here between the thighs. Feel free to adjust it if you need, and just know that it's probably going to feel kind of awkward there, right? So it's okay to feel a little awkward. Let's sink the hips low into a chair pose. Bending the knees, sinking the hips back, weight starts to shift in the heels. You can stretch your arms forward if you like. You can bring your hands together at your heart if you prefer. Take one more breath in here. Exhale, fold all the way in, Uttanasana. Walk the hands forward. Walk the hands all the way forward until you get to high plank. Option to set the knees down or move through chaturanga. Inhale if you're ready for it, low cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale all the way back, downward facing dog. 2 breaths in your down dog. All right, so this is where we add on, we'll listen, we'll shift forward to high plank. We're gonna move to Vashisthasana side plank. Your right hand is your base. You're rolling to the outer edge of your right foot. Your left hand is either lifting up towards the ceiling, or you could keep the fingertips grounded for a little bit of extra stability, especially since we're utilizing that right and left leg. Now listen here. We're gonna lower all the way down onto the sits bones, okay? So you just went from your side plank to seated. I'm now facing the back of my mat, and I still have this prop between my thighs. Take a big breath in, reach the arms up, squeezing those thighs together, reaching forward for the knees or the shins or maybe the toes. I'm keeping my heart lifted here, my back straight. And then here we're gonna bend the knees, plant the feet, scoot all the way onto the back. Prop is still between the thighs, dynamic bridge. We're gonna press down through our feet. Sweep the arms overhead, lift the hips. And then exhale, lower back to the mat. Arms included. Twice more like that. Dynamic bridge pose with this prop in place. Inhale, reach the arms up, lift the hips. Exhale, lower. One more time, lift. Exhale, lower. All right, so now the prop, remove it. You're gonna take it between your hands. Prop in between your hands. Stretch the hands all the way up and overhead. Here's an option here. If this doesn't work for you, no big deal. It's just an option. So hands reaching overhead, prop in between the hands, hug your knees into your chest, just using your legs. And then you can start to rock and reach forward onto the feet and the sits bones, reaching that prop forward. So you might know where we're going with this. I'm gonna rock back and then see if I can stand up. At the back of my mat, I'm facing the back of my mat, and I have this prop in between my hands. So rock and roll as many times as you need, or you can just simply help yourself stand up. Either way, we're meeting facing the back of our mat, and once more, prop between the thighs. Let's forward fold here. Okay, so we've changed directions. We're gonna move around in a circle, that same flow. Once again, you're at the back of your mat, you're facing the back of your mat. Inhale here, halfway lift. Bend those knees, sink those hips, find chair pose. Chair pose, stretching the arms forward or hands at the heart. A little bit more of a bend in the knees, sink the hips just a little bit lower. Deep breath in. Breath out, forward fold. This time we're going to tippy toe our feet back into high plank. See if you can keep that prop in place. Tiptoe those feet back until you lengthen out into high plank. Give your prop a squeeze with your thighs. Shift forward if you want to, chaturanga, or you can always set those knees down, supported chaturanga. Inhale, find that back bend that works for you. And then exhale, downward facing dog is your next shape. 2 breaths in your downward facing dog. This is where we add on that Vashisthasana side plank. We'll lengthen forward, high plank first. And then we're going to roll to the outer edge of the left foot. Left hand is the base now. Maybe that right arm's reaching up, or fingertips can just kind of be pressing into the mat to help stabilize. Yeah, so you can choose and you can try both. Now here's that weird transition where we lower all the way down onto the seat. Both those sits bones. Find that upright seat, center of your mat. Reach the arms forward and up. You still have that prop here between the thighs. Hinging forward from the waist, back flat. Let the hands rest on the shin bones, the knees, or maybe reach for the toes if they're there. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. And then release the hands from the feet, place the hands behind you, bend the knees, scoot to the center of your mat, roll all the way down onto your back. Okay, dynamic bridge pose. Press down through the feet, lift the hips, stretch the arms overhead. This is your inhale. Your exhale, release back to the mat. 3 more times, inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One last round on your own. Okay, so now when the hips settle back to the mat, you're going to reach for your prop. Take it between your hands. Reach the hands overhead. You're going to hug your knees into your chest here without using the hands, right? Just lifting the feet off the floor. Hug those knees in. See if you can get some momentum going as you start to rock forward and backward. And then maybe you stand up. So now you're facing the top of your mat. You're standing at the top of the mat with your prop in between your hands. Deep breath in, reach up. And then on our exhale, we'll forward fold and we can just set that prop off to the side. You're done with that. Uttanasana, forward fold, top of the mat. You're facing forward now. Inhale briefly, halfway lift. Exhale, let's fold in. We'll either step or float back to high plank from here. One more time, option to flow through Vinyasa with or without the knees. Find a back bend of your choice on your inhale. And exhaling, if you like, one more downward facing dog, otherwise child's pose. If you're in downward facing dog, let's set those knees back. We'll come full circle to where we began in child's pose. Three breaths here. Okay, let's shift forward to tabletop. One more time, we're going to pick up, I know I told you we were done with it, but we're not going to place the prop in between our thighs anymore. Just pick up your prop, whatever you were using, hold it in your right hand. Left palm underneath the left shoulder. Big breath in, reach that right hand up towards the ceiling, whatever you're holding. Reach it towards the ceiling, open rotation. And then exhale, sweep it all the way underneath that left armpit. It's like you're reaching to reach that prop off to the left side. And we're going to do that dynamically a few times. So inhale, open up. And exhale, reach underneath the left armpit and through. One more time, reach up. Exhale, reach through and under. And this time we're going to settle that right shoulder all the way to the mat. Left arm, it can stretch forward, or you can sweep it around the low back and find a half bind. Option with the legs, that left leg could sweep back, or you can keep the left knee on the mat. Just kind of exploring what works best for your body. Let's take 2 more breaths here. Okay, so left palm back underneath the left shoulder, start to release. Plant that right palm, pick up the prop with your left hand. We're going to inhale an open twist. So left hand reaches up for the ceiling. You're holding your prop. Exhale, tuck underneath the right armpit and reach across. Inhale, open up. Exhaling, reaching underneath and across. Twice more, inhale. Exhale. One more time, big breath in, reach up. And then this time as you exhale, all the way across, let that left shoulder settle down to the mat. Right hand, same options. It can stretch forward, or it can sweep behind the low back. You can find a little half bind. If you're not sure what's going to suit you best, maybe you try both. Take one more deep breath in. And then replant that right palm underneath the shoulder, freeing the left arm. Let's come all the way down to our back body. Just making that transition to your back. And then once you're there, hug those knees into the chest. Maybe a little bit of a rock side to side. We'll transition into a twist. Both knees off to your left. You could place that prop between the thighs, especially if there's a lot of space there, to allow that right shoulder to relax even more deeply into the mat. So the chest stays open, the shoulders stay grounded. We rotate from the hips. Inhale, unwind. I'm going to move right into that second side. Knees off to your right. Left shoulder stretches away from the spine, roots into the mat, chest stays open. Deep belly breaths here. Inhale, unwind back through center. Any final movement that you desire, please feel free to take it. Maybe it's a round of happy baby, or you start your setup for your Shavasana. We're going to continue with our pranayama, our upright seated breath work after our Shavasana. So we'll just take a minute here to lengthen out on our backs, and then I'll call you out when the time is right. Relax your shoulders underneath your body. Slightly tilt your chin in towards your chest. Deep breath in through the nose. Open your mouth, exhale. Feel your jaw soften and release, and the eyes close down. Shavasana. If you prefer to stay in Shavasana longer, please feel free. If you'd like to join me with breath work, seated upright, maybe slowly start to make your way there. Take your time. When you do come to your seat, if that's where you're headed, make sure it's supported so that your spine can grow tall with ease. If you like, you can take Jnana Mudra, index finger and thumbs together, palms facing down on top of the thighs. Eyes are closed or gaze is soft. Neutral breath in through the nose and out. I'll begin to count the breath in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold your breath. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. 4, 3, 2, 1. Continue counting your breath in increments of 4, pausing at both the top and the bottom to retain without breath. One more round of breath. Now let go of any counting, let go of any retention. Allow your breath to return to normal. Let's take a breath in and join the hands at the heart, and a breath out to bow the chin into the chest. Taking a moment here to honor your effort and your practice with reverence and gratitude. May you remember that you will always be okay. May you find a light that guides you and keeps you safe. May you have hope, help, and happiness along the way. Namaste, yogis. All right, everyone, thank you so much for coming to your mat and practicing today. I hope that was good for you. Please come back again soon and take care of yourselves in the meantime.